Belcastro of Italy, and at ringside Pat Clinton and Harry Carpenter.
Scottish hopes high here tonight in the Kelvin Hall as Drew Docherty, the British bantamweight champion, wearing the white trunks, challenges for the European bantamweight title against this experienced Italian wearing black, Vincenzo Belcastro. And Belcastro boxing on his 33rd birthday. Docherty, a man with a lot of amateur experience, but only 12 fights as a pro against the 36 that Belcastro has had. And one has to remember that in those 36 fights, Belcastro has fought 10 European Championship fights and 2 for world titles. He got beaten both times in the world title attempts. That's the crew cut Italian in the black and red, Vincenzo Belcastro. Been around a long time, never has been a puncher. He's won very few fights inside the distance. That's a slip, I think.
It's definitely not a slip, Harry. I must disagree with you there. It was a little left hook, caught him right in the top of the temple. Yes,
well, if that's right, then that's a good start by Docherty. Pat Clinton is here with me at the ringside. French referee Alfred Assara. Scotland's hopes here, of course, that Belcastro may be past his best by now. Good brisk start by Docherty. He's gone in to try and take charge from the start. Moving nicely. Covering up quite well, concentrating hard. And generally picking off the champion quite neatly. Belcastro, a man who's never been stopped as a pro. Tough old campaigner. First time he's fought for a European in a European title fight outside his own country, Belcastro. So the end of the first round, and here's the champion here in the Kelvin Hall in the heart of Glasgow, Vincenzo Belcastro, hoping to celebrate his 33rd birthday. Let's have another look. Referee's head in the way there. I think Pat Clinton was right. I think he did clip him. Yes, little left hook. The right hand first and then the left hook.
That's right, top of the head. It just put him off balance for a moment, but punches like that do actually stun you for a split second. He just lost his balance, went down onto one knee. A good start from Drew.
A confident start. He's moved straight in, trying to take control of the fight against a very much more experienced pro.
Round 2.
Docherty, the Scottish challenger, in the white trunks. If he does win this, Docherty will be the first Scot to hold this European bantamweight title since the great Peter Keenan, and that was back in 1953. Belcastro trying to move forward, get in range, and as he moves in, he gets clipped. The 1 or 2 punches have also caught Docherty. in the second round. It's a lively start to this title fight. They've taken no time settling down. Belcastro beginning to slip the leads now, taking him over the shoulders and then trying to counter. I think it suits Belcastro to come in close, where he's probably more experienced than Docherty at the inside stuff.
Yes, well, I think Belcastro has to get inside because he doesn't have the reach that Drew has. He's got a long left jab, Drew. He uses it very well. And Belcastro has to come inside to get his body punches and head punches going to get them off. And this is, he's a little bit doing it more successful in the second round. Drew, a lot of success in the first. I'd like to see Drew keep him at long range and box cleverly.
One or two good body punches coming in from the Italian. When he does get inside, he makes it work. And this is going to be a battle of wits here, strategy between these two. And Docherty is going to need all his concentration here to work out the best way of keeping this man at long range. Coming to the end of the second. Docherty's staying very cool and boxing well. So 2 rounds completed. And the atmosphere in the Kelvin Hall pretty optimistic at this moment. There's the champion's record. Came in exactly on the 8 stone 6 bantamweight limit today. I wonder if that indicates that he's finding it a little difficult these days to stay down to that weight. Only 5 fights have been won inside the distance by this man. 27 wins, only 5 inside the distance, which tells you something about his lack of a really hurting punch. So a neat, brisk start by the Scottish challenger, 28-year-old Drew Docherty, 5 years younger than the champion.
Seconds out, round 3.
The champion in the black trunks, Vincenzo Belcastro. Strangely enough, the 2 world title attempts by Belcastro were not at this weight. He fought for the IBF Super Bantamweight title, which is 8 stone 10, and also for the IBF Super Fly, which is 8 stone 3. So he's fought either side of this bantamweight limit in world title fights, but lost both times on points. And Docherty showing good form, neat footwork, handled himself well in that little exchange, that close quarter exchange there, and he lost nothing. He's giving quite a little bit of boxing show here.
Yes, this is what I like to see from Drew. Box on the jab, box on the toes. Don't stand toe-to-toe with a man. And this man's got a lot of experience. Get the long beats going, double left hand, right cross, bring a left hook in after that, get on the toes, move from side to side. I mean, he started the round that way, very successful, and I want him to keep doing that.
Belcastro suddenly has really opened up. He's putting a lot into this round, as though he feels he'd like to get it over with. He's thrown a lot of punches in this round. An awful lot of them have missed. He's gone in two-fisted here.
A very hard fight, Harry, for both boys. The two of them are giving a lot, 100% here in the first 3 rounds. A lot of punches thrown, a lot of scoring from both boys. A very, very tough fight ahead of both of them.
Belcastro is looking as though he's convinced he can overwhelm the younger challenger by simply storming forward two-handed and possibly wear Docherty down. That seems to be the tactics. Tough-looking man, Belcastro. I suppose it's the crew cut that gives him that appearance, but one knows that he's been around a long time. Well, Belcastro fought the full 3 minutes there, full out. And for a man 33 today, it says something for the confidence in his stamina if he can afford to put that much work in early on. He's got a slight nosebleed. Here's the young challenger, or the younger challenger, from Docherty, not too far from Glasgow. Just that one draw, slight blemish on the record. He's been a pro since September 1989. Only 7 wins, well, only 7 out of 11 inside the distance, but a great amateur record before he turned pro. He's been a pro quite a long time now, really, and he's been quite lightly boxed, only the 12 fights since turning pro in '89.
Second zone. Round 6.
So we're approaching the halfway stage. Vincenzo Belcastro of Italy, on his 33rd birthday, wearing the dark trunks, defending his title against Drew Docherty, the 28-year-old Scot. This is Belcastro's 3rd defense since winning this title a 2nd time. He won it by beating another Italian, Antonio Picardi. He's defended it against John Miseli from Belgium and Picardi for a 2nd time. All those wins were on points. Docherty has been British champion since June '92, won it in his 9th pro fight, won it up here in Scotland, in Glasgow, by stopping another Scot, Joe Kelly, in 5 rounds. Great amateur record, Docherty. He won 5 Scottish amateur titles. Docherty somehow has to slow the Italian down. He's got to draw the strength out of him and stop him, storming forward, throwing these punches. That's a good right hand from Belcastro. Sheer weight of punching beginning to tell against Drew Docherty, being forced back and back all the time. And he doesn't seem to have the power of punch to stop the man coming at him. And there's a little bit of a turn of the tide here, to my eyes, in this fight. Suddenly, Belcastro looks much the stronger man. Docherty going through a rough patch here. Non-stop, Belcastro. The punches raining left and right. And Docherty is getting caught up in close quarter stuff more often and taking quite a few punches. Well, that was another hard round for the pair of them. Belcastro still keeping up this 100% pace throughout the 3 minutes. And Docherty finding it harder and harder to keep him at bay, and not really putting enough good punches through to thwart him.
Yes, well, here we see Drew backing off. Well, not backing off. Belcastro's really just put a lot of pressure on in the first half of the fight. I mean, he's not let up from since the second round, putting pressure on Drew. I mean, Drew's still coming back with shots. I mean, it's punch for punch out there, but will Belcastro going forward, fling a lot more shots? Yeah, a good right hand there from Belcastro.
Well, we're coming up to the 10th round now. What a hard fight this has been. Docherty almost had Belcastro in real trouble in the first round. Ever since then, it's been a dour battle.
Seconds out. Round 10.
3 rounds left. Been toe-to-toe now for round after round. But always the champion in the dark trunks, Belcastro from Italy. Always the man coming forward, pushing the other man back, throwing a lot of leather. And no matter what Docherty does, he can't stop the tide coming at him. And they don't take titles away from European champions who go forward throughout a fight. At least not in my experience.
Good combination there from Drew. Right left combination.
So these last 3 rounds are going to be very interesting. A, to see whether this 33-year-old champion can keep this extraordinary pressure up, and to see whether Docherty, even at this stage now, might pull something out of the bag here. Most of the rounds have been pretty close. Docherty went through a bad patch, somewhere around the 6th and 7th. But he came through that. But still, this remorseless man from Italy comes forward, head down, lefts and rights, always coming in. And Docherty, I think, is getting tired of trying to fend him off.
I think he's trying to outbox him at this time. Even at close range, he's trying to make him miss and come back with counter punches, hooks to the body, hooks to the head, right cross. I mean, he's not moving, on the toes, but as you see there, I mean, he's making him miss. He's counter punching after he makes Belcastro move, and it's a good ploy, and it's working for him.
Good left hands from Docherty. Still got his wits about him. I think he's having a bit of trouble with his right eye, Docherty. They were putting the end swell, the iron, on that earlier. He's looking a little bit swollen again. The last thing he wants at this stage. You know, the right eye, Docherty, is definitely shutting.
Go your right, Drew! Go your right!
That's a neat piece of boxing by Docherty, poking out the left hand. The assault is a little less strenuous this time from Belcastro. He's feeling the pace. What a fight. What an amazing fight. And both men are quite happy to turn their backs on each other as the bell rings to end the 10th round. And Docherty goes back for attention on that right eye, which is definitely shutting. And he's going to have to fight the last 2 rounds, possibly having to look out of the one good eye. And that, against a storming opponent like Belcastro, is not good news for him. The champion, relatively unmarked. And hardly breathing. It's amazing, Pat, the pace he's been going. He's 33 years old today, and he's hardly breathing. What fitness.
Yes, well, you always find this with foreigners. They always seem to be the same. They can go 12 rounds. I mean, like, it's as if they just walked into the ring, they go back to the corner, sit down. I mean, the respiration they have, I mean, it must be unbelievable. I mean, really, look, I mean, there's not really as if he's breathing heavy. I mean, Drew's not breathing heavy, you know what I mean? He's just showing the signs of wear and tear.
2 rounds left of this. tremendous European bantamweight title fight in the Kelvin Hall in Glasgow. The Scottish challenger, Drew Docherty from Condoret, putting up the fight of his short professional life here against the much more experienced Italian, Vincenzo Belcastro. My young friend, Pat Clinton, here, urging his mate Docherty to go to his right. I can see what he means, because if he goes to his right, he's keeping out of the way of his opponent's right.
Yes, well, Harry, I mean, I'm getting a little bit excited. I mean, Drew's a very close friend of mine, a very close friend of the family as well. And I'd really love him to win this title. I mean, I think he is winning at the moment. He just didn't head up, he's got just ahead at the moment. But as you see, if he goes to his right, he's a lot more successful. I mean, he's coming over with his own counters, his own right hand, and he's catching Belcastro. I mean, if he goes the other way, then Belcastro's throwing his right hand and he's beginning to get caught himself. So it's, I mean, the fight's, I mean, it's in the balance at the moment.
Docherty scoring well. The other man slows down a bit, and Docherty is speeding up.
Yes, I think Drew sees this title in front of him and he's going for it with everything. I mean, please God, I hope he gets it.
Well, it's all down. Two judges, the referee from France, and two judges, one from Denmark and one from Finland. This is the best round Drew Docherty's had for some time. The other man is throwing a lot of leather, but most of it is being wasted, whereas Docherty, when he's worked, has worked well, like that, a good right hand.
And that's where you know Belcastro's hurt, but he's got to come back with something. If you connect a punch with someone, you have to come back with some of your own punches, and you can see there he was hurt. I mean, I'd like to disagree at this moment, Harry, because I thought Drew won the 7th, 8th rounds, he's won the 10th round. So, I mean, he's won more rounds in the latter half of the fight, and I mean, that's what boxing's all about. We have to agree or disagree sometimes.
That's what it's all about. We all have our own opinions in this sport. Well, we're coming to the crux now. And there was one beautiful little right hand from Drew Docherty towards the end of that round, which we're going to have a look at again. It was a beauty. And it's coming up here. There it is. Beautiful punch. And suddenly the Italian had to drape himself over the shoulder of Docherty because it hurt. So this is extraordinary bantamweight title fight. This man was put down briefly. He hardly took a count. He was hit to the top of the head in the opening round by Docherty, and since then it's been a toe-to-toe slug with Belcastro always making the running, always coming forward, throwing a lot of leather, not all of it getting through, and Docherty trying to box him off. Good fight.
Seconds out. 12th and last round.
The Scottish fans begin to cheer their man now with 180 seconds of action left in this European bantamweight title fight. And now Docherty suddenly takes initiative and comes sharply forward himself, reversing the usual procedure. The champion in the dark trunks, the 33-year-old, it's his birthday today, Vincenzo Belcastro, a fine champion who's been around a long time. What a fighter. And meeting a superb younger boxer here in the Scot, Drew Docherty. Little left hand there, clipped Docherty. And still these two throw leather all the way to the final bell. You couldn't ask for more.
tremendous fight. I mean, listen to the crowd. I mean, they're really enjoying this. They're getting behind young Docherty here. I mean, I say young, 28 years of age, but he's fighting the fight of his life. Absolutely tremendous. And good luck to him.
Well, you've got to give credit to both of them, Pat, haven't you? Because they both put up a fantastic fight.
Yeah, that's true.
And whoever's won it.
Yeah. I mean, my heart's with Drew because,
what a great fight.
Yeah, I've been a friend for so long, it has. I mean, he deserves it more than anyone I know. And really, I'm seeing everything Drew's doing, and sometimes I'm missing what Belcastro's doing, but that's all apart when you love someone and you're friendly with someone.
Well, I certainly think that Docherty's had the better of the last two rounds. He certainly won the 11th from my card. And he's not doing too badly here. He's drawing the other man onto his punches. And Belcastro is making a lot of misses here. But, as we all know, judges often look for attack. And attack is what Belcastro has been doing for a long time in this fight. However, it won't be long before we know, because we're coming into the last half minute. And the pace never slackens. They're going at it full pelt right up to the final bell. It's got to be one of the best European title fights for a long time. And they're still at it, non-stop, till the final moment. That was a magnificent championship fight.
Here comes the decision. We have a unanimous decision. Judge Knut Jensen scores the contest 118 to 112. Judge Rautainen scores the contest 117 to 115. And your referee, Mr. Alfred Asaro, scores 116 to 113. The winner, and still European champion, Vincenzo Belcastro.
Vincenzo Belcastro gets it on a unanimous decision. In fact, one judge, and I can't agree with that, gave it by 6 rounds. One gave it by 2, one gave it by 3. But all 3 judges decided that the all-out attack from Vincenzo Belcastro through most of the 12 rounds has carried him safely through to retention of his title. That'll be a big disappointment to Scotland, a big disappointment to Drew Docherty, and a big disappointment to Pat Clinton.
Yes, I mean, I feel so sorry for Drew. I mean, he's a very, very close friend of mine. I mean, my father thought the world of him. I mean, I know his parents and everything. I mean, I know all his family. I mean, he's still a great fighter. I think he'll be back. I mean, he can win that European title one day. Very, very unlucky. I mean, so he fought a very, very good fighter. Sorry, Harry, but he fought a very, very good fighter tonight, and the man is really good at his job.
So it's heartbreak for Drew Docherty of Scotland, but triumph for the 33-year-old Italian on his birthday.
And what a